The first thing, prepare. Prepare, prepare. Preparation is never enough.
Tulia, communication, it's such an important tool, and it can change the way other people perceive us. So taking that into account, in just general conversation, how can we get other people to perceive us in more of a leadership role?
One important thing is to be present. And being present means to be a good listener. What happens is when someone is talking to you, we tend to already being preparing how to answer. And in that situation, you are not really listening the question or even what is said. And you might just stumble on what you're gonna say. So what I would suggest is first, be present. Pace what you have to say. We tend to speak very fast in a social encounter, but when you're in a group where you want to create an impact, you want to be heard, you better really be conscious on the pace you're speaking and really trying to formulate your sentences and giving the message in the most effective and assertive way you possibly can.
Okay, and so taking that on board, obviously in a professional context, it's much different to just in general conversation. So are there different strategies that people should use in this environment?
I would say it's very important that you believe in what you're saying. I understand that sometimes professionally we need to present or we need to give some information that might even go against what we believe. And we have to be prepared for that too. But the important thing is how you influence these people, because you have to understand that your audience is there waiting to receive. And you there as a speaker, even if it's on stage or in a board or in a meeting, you're there to give. And what I always suggest people with my trainings is add stories, add anecdotes. People love stories. When you tell stories, they engage to you immediately because stories start emotions. When you deliver only facts, people don't stop listening. And beside facts, you can give them in your handouts and they can read it. The important thing is try to engage them emotionally, and stories are the best way for doing it.
Definitely, well, it's one way to make a standard speech much more interesting. And you kind of touched on it in what you were just saying then, but in leadership roles, it's quite common for people to do public speakings, whether it's at events, in meetings, and all different types of instances. So what should people be sort of thinking in their mind when they are delivering these speeches?
The first thing, prepare. Prepare, prepare. Preparation is never enough. It's very important that you're comfortable with what you're saying. Even when I said before that sometimes we have to say something that doesn't really go in line what we believe at the moment, but we have to prepare for that. And you have your audience, and as I said before, your audience is there for you, is waiting to receive, and you're there to give to them. So giving to them is, you have to understand what kind of audience you have there, because the same message might have to be delivered in a different way with even a different wordings to reach different audiences. And never underestimate your nonverbal communication. And I once heard something very interesting saying, in case of doubt, trust the body, because your body doesn't lie. So this is very important for you in your preparation to use words and to prepare your content in a way that your verbal is aligned with your nonverbal. And for that, you have to start learning to be aware of how your body communicates. And it's very important when you're there on stage or in the board or even sitting in a meeting to feel grounded and to be perceiving how your body is reacting towards what is said, and even more when you're presenting. So you have to prepare for that. And that's the tip I can give. Be grounded and give.
As you said before, it's important about being present in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've given us a lot to work with. What would you say are the sort of main key points that people should use in order to make themselves, appear more like a leader?
That is very interesting, because appearing like a leader, you can do it for a while. But I believe leadership is by example, and therefore you really have to become one. And even if you're in certain situations, there are postures you can practice. There are ways of communication, as I said before, watch your pace and be a good listener. But to become a leader is a whole process. And one of the most important things for me is the listening part, because I believe this is a part that all of us struggle. And I used to say we all go to communication courses, but we don't go to listening courses. And the important thing that defines a leader is this ability to be present, to listen. While you're listening, you're connecting. And guess what? The other person sees it. You're there to observe. And also you have to have this emotional intelligence. And it's by listening. And listening is not only what is heard, is what you see, how you can read the body of the communication, the nonverbal. And as I said before, you have to align what you say with your body. And as a leader, when you perceive that, you're able to identify the emotions on your team, the type of behaviors, the qualities they have, and that will help you also delegate tasks, because you will be able to identify which person fits better in that position. And I just read something very interesting, said, as a leader, you're not there to have all the answers and to know everything and to tell everything that has to be done. You're there to inspire people to find those answers. You're there to be there, to know that they can count on you for whatever it is. You're there, but let them, inspire them, build more, create more leaders. That's what I believe.
And so the starting point is to listen and to watch.
Exactly.
As always, thank you so much for coming and chatting with us and sharing your insight.
My pleasure.
That's all from myself and Tulia today. Remember to keep clicking back to Dukascopy TV.